This week, we're going to talk about new bikes. And over the past few years, we've seen a lot of companies go consumer direct, which is nice and easy for the customers, but a new bike is going to require a lot of special attention from the different greases, compounds, the torque settings, bearing adjustments, so on and so forth. We want to make sure here at Bike, when you pull your bike out, we could get it, assemble it, build it, and keep you riding smoothly for a long period of time. So let's get this bike out, see what we got. All right, looks like today's present is a Giant TCX Advanced with some nice wide gravel tires. Should be a fun build. And if you want to get some grease, some of this carbon prep. So stuff that you will not get unless you do go to a local bike shop. I know here, when we build a bike, we'll pull it out, professionally assemble it, set it up for you and your needs, and then deliver it. It's a true white glove service. Carbon frame, torque settings are important, especially when buying new bikes that are used, new to you. You never know what you're gonna get. You see some things come in and it's supposed to be this brilliant $5,000 bike, and it is completely destroyed. And the person didn't know that because they didn't get the first-hand experience of buying it from a human, just a computer screen. See, right out of the box, this is way too tight. Like, somebody had this bearing cranked down. Over time, that's going to put too much additional preload on the inner bearing race, and you'd have to replace this bearing set, which can cost you up to $100. But having it professionally assembled by us allows us to monitor that and prevent that from happening. You know, this is like one of those things. You get this nice bike, it's set up tubeless. There is no sealant in this tire. Like, I'd feel bad. Somebody would get this bike for a couple grand and then go for a ride and have two flats because they didn't know. Yep, you have to put that sealant in there. Otherwise, SOL. I'm gonna take the crank off because I noticed a rusty washer in between the crank and the outer bearing race. So I just want to make sure we don't get any additional wear and tear on that bearing. Yeah, you see that? I don't like that. Even though it's a new bike. This is the kind of stuff that we find when we build bikes. So you're really getting that true white glove service because you want to protect your investment. So why not have a local bike shop such as us do that for you? I'm gonna clean it up or replace it. That seal looked kind of bad, so I'm probably just gonna throw a new one on there. Get these bikes just because they have a bunch of nice parts on them doesn't mean they're gonna operate like they should right out of the box. It's shocking how many of these brand new bikes people bring in and be like, yeah, this is awesome, and it really does not shift at all. The brakes will rub, rotors will be tweaked a little bit, chainring bolts are loose. Not happy with it. I'm gonna throw it in the parts washer and then we'll set up the tires tubeless. Yeah, there wasn't really any grease except some old dirty grease from 3 years ago when this crank was put on. Smooth as butter. Our basic tune-ups, you'll get your bike back and it'll be cleaner than this brand new bike. We set ourselves with much higher standards than most shops, just because we want to ensure everything is done correctly, properly, and you won't have any issues further down the road. We go down to the details. Even this valve core inside the tubeless valve, it's gunked up with sealant from the past. This right here will keep it so this valve will not close all the way, causing you a nice slow leak. Yep, we'll clean that out too. That's another thing people do with tubeless sealant. They'll put it in and then just let it sit. And then it'll pool up in the bottom and your wheel will be extremely off balance. So right now we're coating the inside of that tire, the rim, the bead with that sealant. See, this hanger piece right here is meant to bend before the derailleur does, because $25, $225. I'd much rather break that. The derailleur hangers get bent if a bike gets tipped over or someone lays it on the drive side in the back of their vehicle. That's what could cause a majority of all your shifting issues. And it's something we pretty much align on every tune-up, just because it's the easiest and it makes the most sense. This chain is supposed to be about 1.5 to 2.5 millimeters from this outer plate. Right now, we were just looking at about 3 or 4. Snug that up just a touch. Okay, it's rolling, back it off, boom. Perfect. Well, that wasn't too painful for a new bike. Sure need a lot of work to it. But now we're good to go, and customer, I'm sure, will be really happy and pleased with how it turned out.